What's happening? Still a family. I know y'all can hear it in my voice, man. Fighting something. Fighting something. And I'll talk about that here in a moment. So I'm going to try to do the show the best I can. It probably will be significantly shorter than most shows because, like I said, man, under the weather, battling some stuff. I think I'm coming off of it, but still battling. Still battling. What's happening, man? We got us a win. We got us a dub. We got us a victory. And I'm going to jump right into my knee-jerk reaction. But welcome from those of you that may be new. Welcome to the latest and greatest episode of the Steelers Week 11 knee-jerk reaction post-game show. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, under the weather, coming out of it, but I'll explain that to y'all in a moment. So that's why I sound so raspy. Let's say hello to the early commenters. Then I'm going to get into my information. Then I'm going to get out of here, guys, because I need to rest my voice. And I'm going to go watch some Bills Chiefs. Very important to watch those teams because, you know, if the Pittsburgh Steelers looks like we might get ourselves to the playoffs, might see one of those squads. So we better get familiar. But let's say hello to the early commenters. Let's see who we got here. Let's see. Vista Light, CT Pittman, the master of music. Hello, the lovely Lanisha in the building. Guys, make sure you take care of our lovely lady listeners, man. Lay out the red carpet. Say hello. Who else we got? Dark Realms. Wave Dave. Whippled. What was that? Whippled 18 GT. Odessa, hello. Another one of our lovely ladies in the chat. Odessa in the building. Hello, Miss Lady. Good to see you. And I'm going to say this publicly. Thank you for all the donations that you send me offline. I appreciate you so very much. Who else? Sonny Roth Miller. Alexis B. Hello. Another lovely lady of the chat. Hello. Who else do we have? Lifted Ones, Malvo, Will I Am. My man Antoine Hill. Man, Antoine. I ain't even gonna say it. You know why I'm shaking my head. You already know, brother. My good brother Kenyon in the building, of course. Robis is in the building. Who else is up in here? Hudson W. McKissick. Hope I said that correctly. Chris Fala. Lawrence Holcomb, and we'll end it right there because, like I said, guys, got to rest my voice up. So let me just bring you guys up to speed. Was dealing. Oh, hold on, guys. Drop my phone. I need it for notes sometimes. Dealing with something, and I think I'm coming off of it, but just giving you guys a heads up in case you experience some of the same symptoms. Wednesday night, I think it was, or Thursday night, I ended up with a fever. Yeah, it was Wednesday. Wednesday, I was feeling bad. I was commuting on the way home from my job. Late that night, my fever goes up to 102.2. Took some medicine, got the fever back down. Fever hasn't come back, but my throat has been sore. Not bad, but just kind of sore and raspy. Now my voice is hoarse. Been dealing with that, so that's why I sound the way I do. But like I said, I feel fine. I'm coming off of it. It's just annoying because my voice is still scratchy, and you know how your chest feels when it's so just letting you guys know that, man. So if I'm not giving my best performance, please forgive me. But also, guys, I'm happy that I was able to watch this game in real time. I told you guys that my son had his AAU tournament this weekend, not too far from where I live. If anybody's familiar with the Philadelphia area, if the tournament was at King of Prussia was where it was at. That's about an hour and 20 minutes from where I live. They won their tournament because they did so well on yesterday. They played today, and if they won the first game, they played in the championship, and both of those games are early. So their first game was at 9, second game was at 10. They won their tournament. They were number one, and I was able to get on back home to watch the game. So I am extremely ecstatic about that, but I'm sorry that I didn't do the pregame show, guys. I just got caught up, and I was out of town for the tournament. But anyway, let's get to it, guys. Where are my notes? Let's see here. And like I said, I'm going to be really fast through this, man, because My throat and just voice sounding crazy. I'm putting a real strain on my voice. First offensive series and defensive possession. The Steelers were able to force a fumble on Derrick Henry on the second play of the game because we did kick. Fumble was forced by Nick Herbig. Once again, man, Nick Herbig is one of those guys, again, man, when Nick Herbig gets his opportunity, when he's in the game, he makes plays. Love young Nick Herbig, man. I think this guy, I'm not even going to say I think. I know Nick Herbig is going to be a star. He's already shown it. He's already shown it. So that's how the Steelers start the game. So we frustrate Derrick Henry early. Second play of the game, forced the fumble, and that kind of was the catalyst of what the Steelers were potentially going to do going forward. I say potentially because if you see my thumbnail, you know where I'm going in this knee-jerk reaction. First offensive drive, play action pass to Najee Harris for 7 yards. Then there was a run by Najee for 3 yards to get us to first down. Then there was a pass to Pickens on first down, picked up 4 yards. Then Najee Harris was able to run for 12. There was a screen to Pickens that only picked up 2 yards. Then there was an incomplete pass on 2nd and 8, incomplete pass on 3rd and 8, and the Steelers were forced to kick the field goal. And at that point, Chris Boswell puts us up 3-0. Now let's talk about the key moments. Hold on, guys. Need a sip of water. I can hear it and see now. This is going to be a struggle, guys, but I'm going to stick here with y'all. My voice probably going to be on empty by the time I get done. Round of applause to Tarkus Box for the donation. I appreciate it. Tarkus, that is going to be my main heart of this video. I'm not even going to waste a whole lot of time on anything else. The offense, he says, glad for the win. Offense not getting touchdowns is troubling. You're absolutely right, and I will be there in just a second. Key moments of the game, guys. And, you know, this list was relatively short today, but I'm going to read it to you as I wrote it. I wrote here, key moment. 3rd and 1, Calvin Austin drops a deep shot. Second possession of the Steelers. Very next play, the Ravens hit a play action pass to Likely to the Steelers side of the field. Steelers able to pitch a 3 and out after that. So, you know, they do the play action, and then the series or the sequence following that was a 3 and out. And then we forced the Ravens to attempt the field goal. Justin Tucker missed it, right? I wrote in that play as well that Joy Porter Jr. was grabby on that 3rd down, but didn't get flagged, so be it. Steelers remain 3-0. Right after that, Steelers go for it on a 4th down. It was a 4th and 1, did not convert. Ravens get the ball back. And then I said the Steelers were able to force them into another field goal attempt, and Justin Tucker missed again. And right after that miss, Steelers offense goes 3 and out. Round of applause to my man, Jamar Sanders. Appreciate the Wonder Bread. He says, Justin was key and need goal line work, not gonna lie. I'm with you. I am with you guys, because there's another part here in the key moments I'm going to talk about Justin Fields. So it's very interesting that they ended up going to him later. But I'm with you, Jamar. You're absolutely correct. Next key moment I wrote, Steelers were able to take a lead 6-0 mid-second quarter. And then I wrote here, Steelers offense goes 3 and out with about 5 minutes left in the second. The Ravens go down and score with a minute and 16 seconds left on the clock. And I wrote that it felt like, I want to say this. I don't think I really have an office visit today, but I almost had an office visit for Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith, but I pulled back. But let me at least talk about that moment. Do you guys remember that moment? The Ravens scored, right? A minute and 16 seconds left on the clock, right? Right before that, I want to say it was a 2nd down. I felt like we should have started calling the timeouts early, because the Ravens were on like the 1 yard line. Dog, they're going to score more than likely. So I felt like call a timeout. Let's call a timeout here and force them to go ahead and get in the end zone. It gives us more time after that. So, like I said, I didn't call Coach Tomlin into the office for that, but it's just something to bring up again. Guys, it's the clock management and the challenges has been the warts of Mike Tomlin's career. Yes, I'm saying that as a fan of the guy. I just didn't understand it. Like my wife can tell you, I'm telling her, I said, baby, I think we should be calling a timeout right here. At the time, it was like 1 minute and 52 seconds left. So if you know they're going to score, more than likely, call time. Even if they don't, it's second down. Use 2 of them timeouts. Get the ball back with more time so you can work knowing you're going to get the ball back in the second half. So I wrote that. I felt like we could have used the timeout right at that segment, right before they scored. So when they scored, it was 1 minute and 16 seconds left. Excuse me. Next key moment I wrote, Patrick Queen forces a fumble late in the second quarter. The Steelers were unable to score and had to settle for a 9-7 lead at that point going into the half. I'm going to talk about it in a moment, man, but the offense just wasn't what it needed to be. Another key moment that I wrote down, and again, guys, I'm going to keep saying it for the new people coming in. My voice is shot, so bear with me. Boswell hits a 57-yard kick to start the half. Steelers go up 12-7. Ravens come right back down, and they match a field goal. Justin Tucker gets his stuff together. They match a field goal of 54 yards. It's 12-10. Steelers answer with another field goal, 15-10. And I wrote again, Steelers defense pitches a 3-and-out right after that. Good. Next key moment. Steelers put together the best drive of the game, and Russell Wilson throws the interception in the end zone, trying to do like that toss play, just toss it up there. Now, here's the question I have for the chat. I wanted to be mad at Russell Wilson because we had 3 points in our pocket. But let me ask you guys, did Darnell Washington not attempt at all to jump for that ball? I'm throwing that question out there while I take another sip of water. Did Darnell Washington not play the ball at all on that interception? All of his 6'7", 6'8", whatever he is. Didn't understand that one. A round of applause to the infamous Tim. I appreciate the Wonder Bread. The infamous Tim says, Mike won't live in his fears. Wanted the D to end it. Yeah, I get it. I'm not going to be a results bias type of person, but I'm just always going to, question things, applaud things, criticize things. But yeah. What are you guys saying about the throw? Mount Sinatra says, no, he shouldn't have thrown that. I'm with you. Wave Dave says he didn't jump. Washington got to attempt to jump. Yep, I agree with that. Lawrence Holcomb says no. Master Music says, I think Washington could have jumped. Whippled 18 GT says that was a catch or at worst an incompletion. Chris Pollard says, I thought he should have made an attempt. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. He should have tried. He should have at least tried. Why Diggy says Darnell didn't jump and he's 6'8". So I was pissed at Russell, but then I had to backtrack and say, well, wait a minute. The receiver didn't attempt. So, but needless to say, guys, I was pissed at that moment. You can't shoot yourself in the foot right there. So let's continue. I said, why didn't he jump? And then right after that, man, Peyton Wilson comes back and gets an incredible interception. Guys, I'm going to take a moment, even though y'all know he's going to be a part of the big hat moment on Tuesday. I'm going to take a moment right now just to give him a round of applause. The reason why I'm going to give Peyton Wilson a round of applause is something that you hear Mike Tomlin always say. He always tells the players, hey, you ain't a Steeler until you've been in this rivalry. And we heard all week that Mike Tomlin was showing these guys old Isaac Redmond tape. You know, the magical moment he had against the Ravens, for you guys that remember that. And he preaches, you can make a name for yourself. You can stamp your ticket. You can become a crowd favorite in this game. And for him to make that play, to get beat off the line, great call by the Ravens, and continue with it, chase Justice Hill down and rip the ball out for a pick, magical. That's how you make a name for yourself. One play in the game might have been the biggest play of the game. Donation. Quite possibly one of the biggest plays of the game, if not the biggest. The infamous Tim, I appreciate the Wonder Bread, brother. Trying to get through it, guys. I'm fading, though. My voice is fading, but let me just talk, maybe talk a little lower. He says Devin B did the same thing a few years ago. Crazy, right? Right, he sure did. Sure did. But big time play right there. What else I have after that? I had Let me see. Once again, Steelers unable to score a touchdown after that. Another field goal, and at that point it was 18-10. Steelers with a little under 4 minutes left in the game. No PI called on Pickens on that third down. That was questionable. So then the very next thing I got, guys, is the Ravens go right down to score. Left us with 1 minute and 6 seconds on the clock. Flowers was able to beat Dante Jackson, but the Steelers were able to stuff them on the 2-point try. Maybe they were trying to get too cute. But we stuffed them on the 2-point try. And I did notate here that Justin Fields had the game in the bag had he not slid too early. Could have ended it right there, but they come right back. They bring Justin Fields back in. They call a timeout there, get him back in. This time, instead of keeping it, he hands it off. Najee gets the first down, and the rest was history. So Steelers got it done. And I wanted to say this, man. I did want to give credit to Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin. I wrote here, literally wrote, that was great coaching in that segment. Reason why I say that, earlier on that 4th and 1, I felt like that was a moment that you might could have used maybe Justin Fields. They didn't do it on that moment, but then later in the game, you saw Justin Fields come in for a play, and he did like the quarterback power, cool. And then in this situation, this sequence right there, to end the game, they bring Justin Fields in. And me personally, I think that was great coaching. So whether that was Mike Tomlin making the call or Arthur Smith, I'm just going to say both. Great coaching, because you gave the Ravens something else to think about. You put that element, you basically the Ravens, right? You made them think about keeper or handoff. The same thing that we have to do with Lamar. So that was great coaching in that last segment to end the game. And I don't know, maybe you guys agree or disagree, but I'm going to give them credit. I'm going to throw a round of applause. Excellent coaching in that last sequence. Afro Thunder said I'm about to sound like Quiet Storm. Yeah, I gotta talk low. Gotta talk low, you know. Sorry, fellas, but you know the ladies might appreciate it. Because my voice is shot, guys. I'm just glad I'm recovering. I'm coming out the other end. When I had that 102 fever, I was like, what's happening, man? I hate being sick because I don't get sick often, luckily. But yeah, like I said, that only lasted for one night, literally. But yeah, they need to definitely use Justin Fields a bit more in these situations. Give these teams something to think about. So I got to salute them and give them credit for great coaching in that segment. Round of applause to Jamar Sanders, another donation. He says some of the worries showed we had for Russ slow. I'm not sure if that's correctly written. So if you want to rewrite that, Jamar, I think you're saying some of the worries we had for Russ showed up. Is that what you were saying? Either way, thank you for the donation. But a couple more things I'm going to say, guys, and then I'm going to shut this one down. I'm going to go to my quick defensive recap, man. Listen, the defense did what they had to do. You know, a couple turnovers, well, 3 turnovers. You know, forcing fumbles. Patrick Queen forcing a fumble and recovering the fumble. Herbig forcing the fumble. Peyton Willis, there I go again, Peyton Wilson. Peyton Wilson with the interception. And it's crazy, guys. I will say this. Hold on. Round of applause to Why Diggy. You know I'm going to read family members' quotes as well. Got to give some love to my extended family, man. These are the folks who support the channel monthly. They pay a monthly fee. I appreciate y'all so much, man. He says, when they put Justin in the game, it can't be just to run the ball. Need to have a full package for him down the stretch. I'm with you. Don't make it so obvious. Don't make it so obvious, but utilize them, man. You got it. Utilize it. Defensively, man, I don't have too much. There's not much bad I can say. I mean, we did have some penalties, not really on defense, though. Patrick Queen was called for holding against, what's my man? Mark Andrews. But we had some more penalties. Broderick Jones called for unsportsmanlike penalty. Minka was called for unsportsmanlike. False start by Sia Malu. Nick Herbig was called for offsides. Broderick Jones called for holding in the third quarter. Broderick Jones called for holding again. Same drive. False start by Connor Hayward. So we got to clean that stuff up. As far as injuries, we got to keep an eye on guys like Joy Porter Jr., who went down, came back, went down again in the fourth. Keep an eye on Keanu Benton. I don't remember if he came back. Those are the only 2 injuries I remember. Broderick Jones looks like he did give up a sack or 2. Definitely that first one in the second quarter, where Owe beat him. So definitely got to assess his play. But defensively, guys, I didn't have too much to complain about. I don't understand why this is. Some of y'all told me this, and I said I can't just take history and go with it. But Lamar Jackson does not play well against the Steelers. And even with today's performance, I'm still cautious just saying that. But I don't know what it is we do, but Lamar Jackson is just not successful with us. He doesn't kill us for whatever reason. So for some of you guys that said y'all weren't worried, salute and round of applause to y'all, man, because yeah, I don't know what game plan we put out there with Austin and Tomlin, but somehow they do not allow Lamar Jackson to kill him. Excellent game plan. You know, Derrick Henry got loose once. We did a relatively good job against Derrick Henry. I don't think they rushed for, in totality, they probably did, but I don't believe Derrick Henry had a 100-yard game, if I'm not mistaken. So excellent job, man. Largely, we had a great defensive plan. We pulled it together. We got it done. I have nothing really to say about the defense. Antoine Hill says, on the real, I hope they sign Justin to an extension. Yeah, me too, man. I think Justin will do something for us in the future for sure. Offensively, here's my quick recap. It was trash today in terms of sustaining drives and producing points. Just that simple. What else did I write? I said the Steelers had trouble with pressure early from the Ravens. Offense was unable to take advantage of 2 missed field goals, dog. We didn't get no points off of them field goals. Maybe Maybe we might have got a field goal off of one of them, but we didn't score a touchdown. Like, dog, when a team gives you field position, a team like the Ravens, Justin Tucker of all people missed back-to-back field goals. You gotta capitalize off of that, and we didn't. Did not know this as well about the Steelers. Speaking of turnovers, I did not know that we were one of two teams that hasn't given up points after a turnover. I think they said it was us and the Chargers. I did not know that. That's crazy. Shout outs to the defense. Round of applause to Will I Am for the Wonder Bread. I appreciate you, brother. And Jamar Sanders, you can take a part of that round of applause as well. Another donation from you. I appreciate you. He says, with Russ struggling in the red zone, we have to use Fields in there. Great bounce back game by JPJ. How great of a tackler is Minka? Feel better, bro. I hope so, man. Thank you for that. I want to talk about that really quick. And Minka might very well show up on Tuesday. I wrote that in my recap as well for the defensive side of the ball. I said, listen, Minka Fitzpatrick made at least two plays that I remember where he saved potentially big plays, especially the one to Derrick Henry. That might have been a 6 points. That may have been a touchdown. And Minka is back there being the security blanket he needs to be. That tackle on Mark Andrews. Don't know how far Andrews would have went, but that would have been a sizable game. And this is the stuff that I talk about, guys, because I heard Minka even say it himself this week. He said, they asked him, what do you say to fans that say that you haven't done nothing and your numbers aren't this, your numbers aren't that? I love what Minka said. I love his response to that. He said, dog, what the fans don't know, and I'm saying this in layman's terms, I don't control when the ball is thrown my way. He's like, they don't throw at me. And he also basically alluded to the fact that look at the stuff that I am doing. I'm taking parts of the field away. They don't come to me. So this is the same stuff that I say to you guys as fans when I call people highlight watchers. A lot of times people judge who's who by highlights. Minka is doing what Minka needs to do. Minka is playing like a premier safety, even though he doesn't have the interceptions this year. He's keeping a lid on it in a lot of these situations, and he's keeping quarterbacks from throwing in certain parts of the field. He's being what he needs to be. So don't get caught up in the numbers all the time. Don't get caught up in that, man. Minka's doing what he has to do. And yeah, Jamar, he said Queen is he had an amazing game today. He did. And I love that Patrick Queen was hyped. He was hyped for this game. He got up to play this game. Love it. Patrick Queen was playing with intensity, man. So I really appreciate that. So yeah, the defense showed up once again. But guys, offensively, we got to find ways to score a touchdown. I told you guys after this game, it would prove to me, and maybe I'll talk a little bit more about this on Terrible Towel Tuesday, but this was going to be the test to let me know if I thought the Steelers were ready for playoff action. And I would say, yeah. I would say yes. The Steelers showed me that they can play with a team that can score. And we held them down. I know it's a divisional game, but I'm just saying, to be able to hold down the Ravens and produce a good defensive effort, you're going to have games like this, but we cannot have these games where we're not scoring. Because, again, if you take away one of those field goals and replace it with a touchdown, what that would be, right? It was 18, right? You take 3 away, you go to 15, you add 7 points back, what you got? 22. It's a magical number. What do I always say? With the capable defense that we have, if the Steelers can score 21 to 24 points, they're going to be in and win a lot of games. Just one touchdown, I think, would have put that game away. If it's 6 minutes left in the fourth and we up by 12, that game is already over, the way the game was unfolding. But this is so funny, man, because I was thinking to myself as I kept seeing Chris Boswell make the kicks, I was like, this show does remind me of that Kansas City Chiefs game some years back when we went up and won that playoff game in Kansas City. And it ended up being the same score, 18-16. But we're gonna need to score more points. We're definitely gonna have to score more touchdowns. So I'm not gonna complain too much tonight because again, my voice is shot. We'll talk more on Tuesday, but that's my knee-jerk reaction, guys. Ugly game, no offense. We really didn't sustain a lot of drives. We got short fields sometimes. Turnovers kept us in the game, and we were able to do just enough to kick field goals. So I am not happy with the offensive performance. Even if we would have only scored 22, if it would have been sustained drives, and we get a touchdown here, touchdown there, or a long drives, and it's a field goal, and you take possessions away from Baltimore. We did not do that. Way too many times we were 3 and out, man. We didn't stay on the field. So trust me, when you hear me say, and I rate the offense, it's not just about points. It's how the offense performed largely. It's still the NFL. I expect and respect the opponent, but I expect that we're not going to just blow everybody out. Nobody does that. But even in a game like that, you got to sustain some drives. You got to steal time away from the other team, especially when it's a one-possession game. Round of applause to Sade, man. Hello, Sade. Appreciate you. Appreciate the Wonder Bread. Thank you for the donation. Sade is absolutely correct. She says we are a playoff team, but we would have been in trouble had Tucker not missed those kicks. She's correct. That's 6 points. So think about that. Things happen in the NFL. People miss, right? But we didn't do anything to stop that. He missed. So if he was on, that's 6 points. That wins that game easily. One of them wins the game, in theory. But we got to produce more points. So offense has got to score more touchdowns. They have to score more touchdowns, but more importantly, you have to sustain drives. But what an excellent game plan we had against Lamar and Derrick Henry. They showed up, man, so I can't really complain about anything on the defensive side of the ball. All right, guys, I'm going to stay here for a few more minutes to get some of you guys' comments and thoughts. Fire away. Give you a couple minutes before I shut her down. Also, I'm going to put this on the screen right here. Tuesday night, Terrible Towel Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. For any of you guys that may be new, that's when I accept phone calls. I want to hear from you guys. What I've been doing on Tuesday is keeping my commentary relatively short so we can get to the phone calls. Area 619-924-0818. Again, 619-924-0818. That is Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, that's what I got for you. What y'all got in the comments really quick? Knight Rider says, Sim, how you know he says, I know you're a realistic critic, but how far you believe this team will go? Right now, I'm still looking at right now, I would say the Steelers look like a team that will get to the divisional round. Right now, I think the Steelers, I feel like they can win a playoff game. Not fully confident that they win 2. It just depends on the matchup. It depends on what Steelers team shows up. But I do think, because I said this would be my test, seeing both Washington and the Ravens, I think the Steelers look like a team that can definitely win a game in the playoffs right now. I think they are capable of playing against any of these AFC teams and competing. But I don't know if I have the gut feeling that they can get to the championship or the Super Bowl. I don't know. I don't know. They would need to stay more on the path that they were on the previous 3 games versus what we saw today. And like I said, I'm not gonna take just what happened today as a overarching point. It's the Ravens that we know each other. It's divisional. You're gonna have these games. Same Ravens teams lost to the Browns. The same Ravens team was in a shootout against the Bengals. But with that said, I just don't know right now if we have the firepower that we might need to score and duel a scoring match with some of the teams that you expect to score. Now, I'll say this, and I mean, as I'm not watching the game, I'm about to run up there and watch. Kansas City don't look strong to me. Again, Kansas City reminds me of the 11-0 Pittsburgh Steelers in 2020. Buffalo looking kind of strong. We've shown that we can play with the Ravens. Some of these other AFC teams that are on the come up, like the Chargers, we played them. We were able to get them early in LA. So none of these other AFC teams scare me. So I think the Steelers could get a game. I think they could. And I think all it's going to take is 10. I think they win 2 more games that I feel like they might be a lock for the playoffs. But yeah, the Chiefs don't scare me as they're currently constructed. They don't scare me right now. Let's see what else y'all got. Really quick, give me a few more. Wave Dave says, whether we keep Justin or Russ, we need to get a QB. Correct. No complaint there. We definitely do. Whether we have plans for Fields as a long-term option or not, we need another QB. What else y'all got? KC looks exactly like the 11-0 Steelers. They do, man. They do. I be trying to keep it real. That's how they look to me. They look like a fool's gold undefeated squad. So I can't wait to see how this game is going to end up. Russ hold the ball too long. Yeah, in some scenarios. And that is one critique that I was going to give Arthur Smith today. And we kind of adjusted out of it later. But I did feel like we were trying to do too much that kept the ball in his hand. And the Ravens' pressure was just getting to it before we could set up some of those, deeper routes. So, I didn't like that we kept trying to do that as we saw that we weren't able to block those guys. But eventually, Arthur Smith kind of got out of that plan. What else y'all got? After High School Show says bad take. What's a bad take? Are you responding to me or someone else? Steeler Card says only QBs who go in round 1 are Sanders and Ward. Okay, y'all talk about college stuff, Milroe and whatnot. I see y'all love them college players. I let y'all have that. That's the fun that y'all have in the chat. Victor says, can we all agree that Darnell needs more touches? He's got great hands. He does. But I will say this, Victor, Arthur Smith has gotten him the ball. We are finally seeing Darnell Washington as a part of the pass game. And Russell Wilson utilized him a couple times in this game in key situations. So I like that. KC just scored. Was it a touchdown thrown by Mahomes? I hope so. Fantasy purposes. After High School says, I disagree. The team isn't like the... okay, that's fine. No disagreement for me. I mean, we have a difference of opinion. The reason why I'm saying that, just so people know my position is Kansas City doesn't, the way they have become, what are they now? 9-0, just did not look dominant. The same way the Steelers didn't look dominant when we were 11-0. So that's my only correlation. Great, Mahomes to Worthy. Okay, I needed those points. Steeler Card says KC doesn't have a washed-up QB, so no, they aren't the 2020 Steelers. I think y'all reading a little too deep into it. It's not a direct correlation. I'm just talking about the way the team looks. That's it. So I respect what you're saying, Steeler Cards, but I'm not looking that deep into it. I'm just saying from a strength standpoint, if I look at an undefeated team, they're not believable to me. And Mahomes hasn't been strong. You know what I mean? Trust me, he's on my fantasy team. He has not been, that's all I'm saying. No, high school, you good. No. It's not your bad. It's not your bad at all. We definitely could have disagreed there. I was just always just trying to make sure everybody knows what I really mean, in case it's, in case you saw it differently. But yeah. But all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here because my voice is shot. Love y'all, man. I really do. Y'all the reason why I come on here every post game, and I'm glad that I'm able to do the post game today. Next week it won't be a problem because we play on Thursday, but my son has another tournament, this time in Maryland. But again, won't affect Terrible Town, obviously, and it won't affect the game post-game show because we play on Thursday night, so that's great. So other than that, man, let's enjoy this victory. Let's enjoy being first place in the AFC North for the time being. Let's enjoy this Pittsburgh Steelers team that started with Justin Fields and put in Russell Wilson, having an 8-2 record. Nobody saw that coming. And if you did, I need to get your pick for the Powerball. Because you can make us all rich. Let's enjoy that. Let's watch some more football today. If you're a football fanatic like me, I'll see you guys on Tuesday for Terrible Town Tuesday, and then we get ready to do this thing again on Thursday. But outside of that, y'all know the routine, man. If you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, click on your notifications, but also I need you to share it as well. Like and share. Like and share. And before I get out of here, like I do each and every time I see you lovely people, I'm going to just say, hey, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. Good night. Like always, thank you all for tuning in. And I shall catch you in the next one. Here we go, Steelers. 8-2. Kings of the North. Peace.